Hello there, my crafty friends. It's Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stamped AF. I look like a hot mess. Oh, how's everyone's week going? Oh, I'm very zoomed in, aren't I? Okay, I am going to flip this down. You are going to see a right old mess, but I have an idea and I'm gonna need your help to put it together. I know, creating on the fly. I need an elastic. I got my flu shot today, so I can barely lift my arm. And of course I don't have an elastic in here, because that would make sense. Okay, are you ready to see what I have in mind? Oh, my skin is looking better, but you'd never know it based on that. So, let me flip this down so I don't have to look at myself. That should work. Look at that cute little rainbow. So I am thinking, I've been kind of playing around. Let's turn on some more lights here. Whoopsie, sorry. Rapid fire movement. Hello. So I was thinking first about doing a shaker card with this, but I really want to use these rainbow leaves. These are from the Leaves of Holly. I really have not played with this bundle, except for one card that I'm going to see if I can find to show you in case you happen to miss it. And I've got the sniffles. I'm guessing it's probably from my shot today. We shall see. Where is it? Okay, well, I have a beautiful holly one and I don't know where it's gone. I think it's with all my fancy folds. So I'm thinking we're going to do a Z fold card with a whole bunch of leaves. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think? The only thing that I am undecided on is what I put in the background. Because I could do a slimline card, but I'm thinking I would love for it to be a Z fold card so that it fits in a standard envelope and I don't have to try and remember the dimensions for a slimline envelope. This is the one I'm looking for. So this was the Stamping Society video for, I want to say 2 months ago. So pretty and so easy. So if you haven't viewed that video yet, you might want to. This was, I love the way this turned out. I overdid it on the splatter. Hello. Just so you know, if you're joining me from my Facebook group, which is very probable, I cannot tell who you are. And I think I mentioned last week that with StreamYard, you can go and grant them permission. I'm not sure how you do that with this software, so just let me know your name so that I'm not ignoring you. Hi, Roz. Okay, so I was thinking, when I was thinking a shaker card, I thought of the Happier Than Happy bundle because there are some adorable little pieces in here. So I have gone ahead and I've die cut some. But I was thinking it would be so cute to cut some of these little bits out and have each leaf as a shaker card. How stinking cute would that be? It would also be very hard. We would have to cut pieces out and then we would have to adhere it. Like, it would not be fun. So I thought, not really accessible. I want to be able to do something that you can recreate. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Jen. How is everybody? Hi, Judy. So it's kind of a choose your own adventure tonight. I'm going to just die cut a few more things. So we have our option of doing this lovely regal rainbow as a Z fold. It could very easily be a slimline, but like I said, I don't want to mess with the envelope sizing and all that jazz. But I thought we could use these little pieces to add as accents. So if you haven't looked at that Happier Than Happy bundle, I mean, I love it just for the dies. They're very cute little critters, but I love them for the dies. And it is Diane Dimich. It's her $1 million stamp set bundle. But yeah, so cute. There's little acorns, there's leaves. So I have gone ahead and I have die cut some of these. So when I switched gears from making the leaf shaker cards, I thought we could do the aspen tree dies, which would also be super cute. So what do you want? Do we use the aspen tree dies with these itty bitty, they're like icons almost, or do we just do a Z fold with our rainbow and then add a few of these little guys as add-ons? I'm going to tell you, if you are a subscriber to my newsletter, I mentioned it seems to be my bi-monthly newsletter. I always seem to skip a month. October is an insanely busy time at work, so honestly, I'm doing my best right now to be able to do it all. So getting something designed in time, unfortunately, wasn't on the list. My to-do list is longer than both arms, and we have the in-laws visiting, and I mean, that in itself is, it's extra. Well, right now it's my father-in-law. It's extra person in the house. It's extra meals and all of that. But I mean, there was cleaning, there was Thanksgiving dinner, there was all that kind of stuff. And I've got so many projects. If I could show you my table over here. I will at the end if I remember. Okay, so Debbie says Z fold. Woo, hi, Marilyn, Linda. Yes, Lisa, that is all we can do. Someone actually told me that at work today. You don't need to be perfect. Hi, friend. How are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Well, better than okay. Okay, so Z fold. Awesome, because I have used these a lot. This one was sitting around because I just couldn't not use it. There's this one too. I love it, but I don't want to overdo it. And I haven't used these holly leaves other than that one card. So I thought it would be nice to show you a way to use the holly leaves that aren't holly. So as I was driving home today, I saw all these beautiful fall leaves, and oh, I need to catch my breath. I want to say this is also inspired by the Global Design Project Challenge, which is Case the Designer, and it is the artisan design team member, Madeline. I'm not even going to attempt to say her last name. If you follow Stampin' Up! And you see the artisan design team, I mean, I have fallen in love with everything Madeline does. She has a cute little rainbow slimline card, so I thought we're going to do like a regal rainbow featuring fall colors, fall leaves, and yeah. So that is the plan in my head, and hopefully it's going to go better than the other choose your adventure. Well, maybe not choose your adventure, but fly by the seat of your pants type lives that I've been doing. Okay, so I have a stamp set out to do some splatter, which I'm thinking is going to be in gold. So that being said, what color background should we use for our Z fold card? Let me bring in my other itty bitty pieces. Now, had I been smart, which I never claimed to be, I would have used adhesive sheets on the backs of these because they are very little, but we will figure it out. See, if it had been shaker bits, we wouldn't have to worry about that. Okay, what color should our card base be? I really need an elastic. How can I not have any in here? I can tell you why, because my daughter comes and steals them. That's why. I could use some ribbon. What color? I think something that isn't in here. Oh, I'm not using this white one that you can't see over here. So basic white, very vanilla, crumb cake. Oh. I'm going to use the Quiet Meadow little splatter because I thought this would be nice in the background. So I'm thinking either gold embossing powder or heat and stick. You tell me which you would like to see. I really feel like heat and stick has heat and stick with the gilded leafing. I don't know anything today. So I feel like we don't see a whole lot of this, and I have not used all of this. It's because this stuff flies away so easily that I thought I'm just going to put part of it in there. Crumb cake, you got it. So there are a few projects that I'm working on that I cannot wait for you to see, but I can't share them yet. Okay, so for a Z fold, I'm just going to put this on top. Move this because that'll be what gets stuck. So for a Z fold, we are going to cut it at 4 1/4. I actually like to do my scoring first and then cutting. So for a Z fold, we are going to score it at 5 1/2. And then half of 5 1/2 is 2 3/4. I was thinking this week, it is amazing how much math we need to know as card makers and how handy it comes in having fractions. They should teach it like that in school, right? Make it applicable. Okay. Did I do that right? Am I thinking the wrong fold? No, I just looked at one, right? So I like to do them as a landscape, not a portrait. So now what we need, you saw that I scored and cut my other one. So now I can cut this one. So this is 4 1/4. So if we did half of that, it's 2 1/8. So let's go ahead with that. And do we want DSP or should we just keep it clean and simple and do some splatter, some gold splatter in the back? Okay, so when you're doing your Z fold, you want the other one to go the other way. So we're not going to put this here because then we'd have 2 score lines. We're going to put it here and then fold this one and fold it back. I think Z folds are one of the easiest fun folds there are. That may be a little bit high, but we'll see. What do we think? Clean and simple. Okay. You've got it. So I called Dave when I got home tonight to let him know, Facebook Live, I don't make dinner on Wednesdays. Usually what happens is I pick dinner up or order it for my son and I, because Dave will be home late and my daughter is fending for herself. So I'm like, what are we doing? I'm gonna go have a nap. And he brought home pizza and salad, so we just finished that. But when I was talking to him, he's like, oh, you sound sniffly. I'm like, I am all of a sudden. And I said to my doctor when he offered well, he didn't really offer. He said, we're giving you your flu shot, which is not what I was there for. I'm like, as long as it doesn't make me sick, I cannot afford to be sick right now. Okay, splatter on here. I'm kind of thinking, I have an idea. You can tell me if you like it or not. And I know that the people that like this style of crafting, like on the fly, stay, and some who don't, and that is completely fine. We are going to use the Leaf Fall embossing folder, and we can put that in the background. Now, I want to do a little test here, because if you remember, there was it Rooted in Nature? We sprayed the dies to get extra detail. I want to see if that will work with this embossing folder. So I have a Stampin' Spritzer that I'm just going to spray off of my table so that I don't get everything there wet. You can also add some ink to your folder, but let's just see. I feel like this folder hasn't gotten the attention that it deserves because the catalog really does not showcase it very well. So there it is. It is a 3D embossing folder, so we're going to get rid of our top and bottom plates and our thin die adapter, and we're just going to use the 3D embossing plate, which is this one, number 4. And if you're new to Stampin' Up! Or die cutting, it tells you all of your sandwiches on here for both the full size and the mini, which is very handy because it can get tricky when you're going between 3D and just your regular embossing folder, it can be hard to keep all those sandwiches straight. Okay, woo! That gave a lot more definition than if I hadn't spritzed it. So it needs to dry a little bit, but what do you think about putting that in the background? Obviously that part isn't very good, but if we have it like this in the background, brings a little bit of texture without overwhelming. My dog just stood on his back legs and took a close look at the TV. Oh, that's cute. Hi, Deborah. Lisa, you never noticed this one. Susan, I'm going to add that so everyone can see it. My dog actually did the same thing the other day. It was so weird. He like rested up on the, maybe I will put my face in here, because I keep looking up and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not showing my face. So my dog did that the other day too, like paws up on the entertainment stand, looking around at the TV, and I'm like, what are you doing? You never do that. I wonder if your dog heard one of my dogs, Susan. Okay, so we can do that, but this in the catalog, I'm telling you, catalog does not do it justice. And I mean, we get that all the time, right? You see something in person, it's like, oh my goodness, I have to have that. Where is it? So, Leaf Fall Embossing Folder, page 53. Yeah, like, you would never notice that, right? So it's kind of in the background. I mean, it is in the background on this pheasant and the Celebrate, but it really, really doesn't do it justice. Hi, Linda. You just got that folder after it's, right? I think you need to see it being used. That could be Susan. He might have heard, he? Yes, he. He might have heard one of mine. Now, the other thing we could do is put that on here. But I'm kind of thinking I want the splatter to be on here. So I was die cutting all of the leaves beforehand because I thought you don't want to sit here as I do that. I will have to glue them together quickly. But what do you think about using the heat and stick powder with the gilded leafing? What do you think? Oh, I know, Roz, there are so many things that are hidden, and as a demonstrator, it can be so hard to use everything that you get. Like you get, I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm going to say a collector, but I mean, I don't get them to keep because I'm a business demonstrator and that doesn't work. But it can be so hard to use everything that you get, and I never understood that. I never understood how people purchased things. Oh, that's not what I want to do, is it? I never understood how people purchased product and then didn't use it. Now I do. Okay, so we are going to use Versamark. And I think I've only used this heat and stick powder twice. So let's see how it goes. Worst case, we use this one over here and we heat emboss. Now, you know I don't like doing heat embossing on a live because you're going to get stuck with the sound, but I'm sorry. Hi, Pam. Yes, so let's show off this Leaf Fall embossing folder. So I'm going to do kind of a splatter fall pattern here. I don't want it to be overwhelming. It's kind of like a neat little V pattern. It's like a whole bunch of geese. Okay, seriously, my table is fairly big, but I'm running out of room. Lisa, have you used this powder much? If at all? In case you missed it, here's another hidden gem. Maybe not quite as hidden. The Embossing Editions kit is in the mini catalog. You'll probably notice that I used my embossing buddy on here. That is just to remove any static. I don't want to have like random pieces. Just going to add a bit more of my splatter. And now I can come back in with this. So I heard that this part of it, like the tray, was called the Powder Pal. So we've got the Powder Pal, the Embossing Buddy. That one's not an alliteration. I don't like it. Everything Stampin' Up! Has is, well, almost everything is an alliteration. Okay, so now I need to move all of this stuff out of the way. Get my heat gun nice, hot and ready. I am just going to put this off to the side and I'll deal with that later. You don't need to be here for that. Put it out of the path of my heat tool. But what I need to do is get that hot and sticky and then be ready with this to put it on. So I'm going to grab a piece of grid paper. Hi, Kathy. Too many catalogs these days. Roz, I'm just going to add this so that I don't have to say the whole thing. Everyone can read it. Yes, I could not agree more. There are too many. And I know that sounds silly from a demonstrator, but seriously, with all the catalogs and all the pre-orders, it is so hard to keep up. Pre-orders and special promotions, it's a lot. Okay, I'm going to heat this up on high, and then I will set this on low. I'll try and talk over it. Even as a demonstrator, it's getting overwhelming to have so many things on the go all the time. Like in September, it was the Perfect Partners and Celebration was ending. In October, there's the starter kit and there's the new birthday kit. And now we've got the Fitting Florets pre-order from the upcoming mini catalog. It's so much! And I did not order the Fitting Florets, but I did order the festive stamp set that goes, but it hasn't arrived yet. Okay, so heated it up. I'm going to set it on low. I find that my cardstock warps a lot less by doing it this way. Now I'm going to, woo, hopefully not blow it all away, but just kind of rub it on there while it's still hot. So you don't want to work in too large of an area. You can see, or here, I still have my heat tool on. Okay, so now the next little bit. Oh, I'm blowing everything around here, but I don't think we get a whole bunch of time to get this right. So just kind of put it on there and brush it on with your finger, with a brush. Reheat it if you need. Yeah, I think that has to be wet again. Like I said, this, whoa, that was dumb. This is only like my second or third time using this stuff. I think because it's so messy, it's not my cup of tea. Embossing powder can be messy enough. Let's get a piece ready here. I also don't want to burn myself. I have not had good luck with this. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm going to turn it over and try heat embossing. And it is very flaky. It blows everywhere. So don't watch. I'm going to vacuum it up. I have a ton of it. A ton. Oh, sure. Sticks there. Oh, my Versamark. It does look very nice on those. Ooh, look at that. Leaves. Okay, let's go back to embossing. This is too messy for me. Heat emboss, yes. Yes, Pam. Not a dumb question at all. I thought I would give it a try because it's been sitting there taunting me. But yeah, embossing. So, I could dust this off, but I'm just going to use the other one that we have right here. Now, unfortunately, it seems that all of the embossing powders are unavailable right now. And I did check with Stampin' Up! The other day because Basic White and Basic White Thick are both unorderable right now. But the dates were showing in the past. Like first it was March of 21 and then it was August of 22. And I'm like, huh? So they are looking into it. But apparently with the free shipping day, it took a lot of things out of stock. Things are taking a little bit longer to ship, and a lot of products sold out. Okay, so my heat and stick is currently in there, so I'm just going to do little sections and pour it over the container. If you are new to heat embossing, you want to work in smaller areas. Versamark is like a glue ink, but it will only stay wet for so long. And again, I hope you saw I used my embossing buddy. Yeah, it was just to try something new, Pam. Apparently I need to play some more because I have so much time for that. I wanted to do nothing but design on the weekend, and I had such a long to-do list. I really did not accomplish much for so many reasons, but I really was in the mood to design, and I had so much to do that I couldn't. And I'm like, you know, this is why I love doing what I'm doing, is I get to create, not just prep and do type up tutorials and all that fun stuff. For the Fab and Festive Retreat, Tiffany had to type something up, and I'm like, you do that and I will make the prototype. And she's like, oh, if only we could do that all the time. I'm like, I know, right? She doesn't mind typing the tutorial. I don't mind doing the design. But I mean, if you're not the one designing something, how do you know all the dimensions and everything unless you write the tutorial? So it wouldn't work, but it was nice for a day. Okay, I think that is probably enough. I don't want to overdo it. I do want it to look kind of organic and unpredictable. Yes, I think so. But you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? If I hadn't tried it, we wouldn't know how terrible I am at it. Okay, so preheat on high, set on low. And you might have noticed when I was setting the heat and stick that I had it down on my table. It's because I had to get everything down so quickly before the heat and stick cooled. With embossing, it's not that way. And I really do prefer going from the back so it doesn't blow all the powder off. But I mean, you'll see how quickly it changes. And once the powder is on, like, you've done what you need to do. It's not going to come off unless you brush it away or wipe it away. With the heat and stick, you seem to have a very small window before it no longer sticks. Not fun. So the reason I'm setting it on low is that I tend to find that I get less warping. With cardstock, I might still get a little bit. Now, if I were using vellum, I would want to heat it and move it, heat it and move it. Like, keep it moving all the time, or it can very easily warp your vellum. How's everyone's week going? Yes, Pam, me too. You could create given the dimensions and she could try. Oh, love that. Great idea, Linda. I think the golden leaf does better on larger spaces. I'm gonna have to practice. I also, because that gilded leafing flies away so easily, I do not keep very much of it in the container. And I tend to keep a fan going when I'm in here because it's just too dang hot. Faster, faster. So how many of you participate on in the Global Design Project Challenge? I didn't do it for a long time, and then I thought, you know what, I'll base my Facebook Lives on that week's challenge, which is what I'm doing today. It didn't last very long because I found that it can be hard to enter every week and you feel like you should win and you don't, because there are so many talented people and there can only be so many winners every week. But it's like, do I really want my stuff judged that way? But then there's some challenges that are just so much fun and it's like, yeah, I gotta do this. So I love a rainbow, but I love seeing rainbows in unexpected colors. Like the Brights rainbow, I think will always be my favorite, like Flirty Flamingo and Mango Melody and Daffodil Delight and the other colors. But a regal one is so pretty and perfect for this time of year, right? I hope you can hear me. I use the glue and gold foil for a lovely effect. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Jen, you got vacation? I was like this Friday and coming Monday, right? So for those of you not in Canada, this previous weekend was Canadian Thanksgiving. So we had Monday off. Well, most people had Monday off. So it's like, what day is it? It's Wednesday? Oh, okay. But I mean, it's kind of easy to remember this week because I had a team meeting last night and Facebook Live tonight. I was hoping to take Friday off, but that's not going to work. It's just too busy. Okay, I'm going to high. It's taking forever. Okay, that was loud. Heading to PEI. Ooh, that sounds like fun for you. I can't run. I cannot. Okay, now this is going to go the other way, right? I'm going to have gold leafing on my desk for days. So we have two options. We can have it where the short side is here, in which case the long side would go like this. Or we can have it the other way, like on my Santa's train card, I had this side as the main one, in which case this would go like that. I feel like that's backwards, but for the train, it just worked. I don't like the ridges I get from my Stampin' Cut, or my trimmer. So what do we think about the leaf fall in the background? And if it's in the background, is it on every panel or is it just like the front one? We could definitely do it here with a mat. However, that would make it very interesting for the person to write their greeting. We could have it, no, not that way, because then they're all going to be hidden. My light just died. Well, that wasn't very nice. We could have it that way. You know what? I think I'm going to have it this way. That's where we'll probably see the most of it. You love it. You like... Kathy, I'm Dory. What was the first option? I'm going to grab a wipe and clean up some of this leafing while you tell me what my option one was. Oh, it's everywhere. This stuff is like glitter. Everywhere, everywhere. I really want another light there. Opposite of the train, like this way then, right? Might help if I show you the train again. Okay, let me show you and then you can vote. Are we doing it like the Sweet Gingerbread Snowman, which is our standard Z Fold card, where the small panel is on like the front? This is always the front, right? So do we have the front on the left or on the right, which is backwards, but the train would have been going the wrong way. So it just worked for this one, but I think very few cards are going to work that way. I'm just going to take this, sorry, off because it's casting a very large shadow onto my desk. No! Where did it go? Where did it go? Hang on, hang on. Are we back? Sorry. Hit a button. I'm out of flat spaces. You love them. You hadn't seen them before? So I had a bit of a Z Fold kick. So Santa's Train was festivity delivered for August. And this was for the Global Stampin' Video Hop. Okay, it's time for fan. I'm boiling. Now, another really cute thing. Oh, thank you, Kathy. So this one is a free tutorial with my newsletter. But I mean, I could share that. I could put it in the link of this live. I did a video for one of them. I think, yeah, it was this one, the Global Stampin' Video Hop. And this one isn't much different. It's just fully colored with blends. And yeah, I can share the tutorial for that one. This would look super cute if you added some ink blending to the leaves, but we are going to forego that. So this is 2 3/4 by 5 1/2. How do we get your newsletter? I will put the link in the description. Kathy, you're watching on Facebook. Judy is on YouTube. Youngest grants. Okay, you know what I think I'm going to do? Instead of, what's my best bet? Let me think about that for a minute. I need to do this at 2 1/2. If I don't stop talking, I'm going to mess this up. It would be easier to insert that on YouTube because it's on my Facebook page and my Facebook group, and I think it would just be easier if it's on YouTube. But for my newsletter, I will add the link, but if you just go to stampedaf.ca, if you scroll about halfway down the page, it will pop up. And you want to know why it waits until you're halfway down the page? Because it drives me nuts when I get to someone's website and I haven't even moved my mouse and it's like, sign up for my newsletter. I'm like, I just got here. Calm down. I didn't need to measure that. 4 1/8. Let's do, it was 4 1/4, right? Let's do 4 1/8. No, let's do 4. 4 by 2 1/2. I'm a little indecisive. Okay, so that is going to sit just nicely in the background. It probably could have gone with 4 1/8 by 2 5/8, but it is too late. I am going to use liquid glue because I don't like using Stampin' Seal when I have an embossed image because I don't want to put the pressure on it and have that embossing go away. So the last 2 months the last 2 newsletters I've done, I shared that tutorial because it was a lot of work. I love the way this tutorial looks, but oh my goodness, was it a labor of love. Like there are images of the die cuts, it tells you how many to cut, and oh, this was originally supposed to be for festivity delivered, but I sent it to Tiffany. I'm like, I think people are going to hate me if I do this. So instead, my 2 cards for that month, because they need to be accessible, you need to be able to recreate them, right? Was this one with the little mountains in the background, and this one. So a lot less coloring on that. Same kind of idea, but we didn't have 4 cars. So I do actually have one of these kits available if anyone is interested. Anyone in Canada, because apparently we can't send kits to the US, but I do have one of these. You would need to have the stamp set and dies, but everything else, everything that is not part of the bundle is cut for you, like tags, embossing, all that kind of jazz, because we don't expect that you are going to have every single thing we use. Okay, Kind of wonder if we should put that up there, and then we can have a greeting part there. This is going to take forever, isn't it? Yep. Okay. Do you think this is a little too tall? Right now it's half of the card, and I think maybe it's too big. Let's start gluing some leaves together, and then we'll see. So I do want this to be kind of an ombre. Is it ombre? I want it to be in a rainbow pattern where it's going from the reds to the browns. So I am not going to glue this entire thing. I will add some in some random spots, if I could see. I've had a really hard time focusing my eyes, especially in the morning this week. I don't know what's going on. My optometrist swears that my vision hasn't changed, but I really disagree. I can't see. If you get some glue that seeps out, I always like to wipe it up right away. I know that people say it dries clear, but it also dries with like a glossy finish, which I don't love. So wipe it away while it's wet, and then if it really bothers you, you can come in with an adhesive eraser. So these are going to be kind of whimsical. I did not want to have two that were the same size next to each other, but Cherry Cobbler fit better on this side than it did with the brown. I do wish that there was like a third leaf size, and I could probably go to the Merriest Moments and use some holly from there, but I wanted it to just be the leaves of holly. I've been kind of surprised that every month when I've asked if leaves of holly should be part of Craft and Connect, it hasn't gotten voted in. And it's like, but why? I want to use it. And for this upcoming Craft and Connect, I had posted the poll. If you're not familiar with what Craft and Connect is, when it started, it was a way to do like a live crafting session. I designed using a predetermined bundle based on your votes, and then I would do a Zoom class and we would craft together. But I found that it was getting to be just me. And honestly, it takes less time for me to just record a video and be able to speed monotonous parts of it up. And it takes, I don't know if any of you ever present to people, but it takes a lot out of you. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I always needed a nap after, and like the rest of the day was just shot after that. So I started recording them, but you don't even have to purchase the tutorial. It is available if you're interested, but those in Canada can purchase the kit, which includes all of the consumables. So like the ribbon, the DSP, those kind of things. We will figure out this placement later. So like I said, this would have been a lot easier if I had used adhesive sheets, but I didn't. I used, just in case you want to create something like this, I used Cherry Cobbler, Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie, Crushed Curry, Old Olive, Evening Evergreen, Soft Suede, and Early Espresso. Saying all those all in a row reminds me of the time that I got an MRI and they tell you not to move and not to panic, that you're in an enclosed space. So I laid there with this like face cloth covering my eyes, her idea, not mine, and I went through the Stampin' Up! Colors. Because they're alliterations, I mean, if you know the name of the color, or maybe the first part of the color, you can go through, and I named all 53 colors. Kept me busy just long enough to not freak out. Oh, so Craft and Connect. I got distracted. I put a poll in the group, Craft and Connect, and I put the Sweet Candy Canes bundle, and I think the Love of Leaves, and What was the other one? Window Wishes, I think. Because, I mean, I love that one. And Sweet Candy Canes got the most amount of votes. But the problem is the DSP is unorderable. The sequins are unorderable. And I will tell you, I really love designing when it's not expected. And what I mean by that is Merriest Moments. I had a request for that one last month and it won. So instead of using something very Christmassy, like maybe Boughs of Holly, DSP, or I don't know, I chose to use the Splendid Day. I just said the name of that DSP yesterday. Is it Splendid Day? I chose to use the DSP. I've got some gold holly leaves in there, the iridescent rhinestones. Sorry about all the shadow. So I am so behind on this. I have 2 cards to write the tutorial for, these 2. And then I've got to do the video very quick, like seriously, so far behind. And then these kits will be shipping. I'm telling you, like not even kidding when I say my weekend went off the rails. Like this was supposed to be done. But I decided that this DSP was going to be a nice fit because I wanted something unexpected. I mean, it is... yes, Linda. Let's see. I feel like, of course, it's wonderful to use the coordinating products, but everyone can do that, right? So I feel like it takes some thought to look at something different. Like with the Candy Cane DSP being unorderable, I posted in the group and I said, okay, what do I do? Do I wait for the DSP? Do I use different DSP? Do I use something altogether? Like, do I omit the DSP? And there weren't a whole lot of answers. So I picked a few things that I thought would be cute. And I haven't designed them yet because I haven't had time. But the other thing is I can't even find candy canes. Correction, I can find candy canes on Amazon, but they are like $18 for 12. And I'm like, what? No. So I'm still debating on that one. But I love putting unexpected things together because that Splendid Day DSP is metallic. It's beautiful. It's great for Christmas cards and not what you would expect to use with Christmas cards. I was actually watching a video today where a woman used DSP, like floral DSP for Christmas and birthdays and a whole bunch of things. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't have to be specifically holiday paper. Ooh, I like it. It is gorgeous, isn't it? I would love to show you some that's open, but I have used it all up. So this is it. And I mean the metallic on there, this is stunning. Like you don't even get the real, like it's metallic, but it's like a frosted metallic. Whoops, I am such a klutz. I think that one is my favorite. I guess it would it be, it doesn't really look soft seafoam. It looks more mint macaron, but I think that one is my favorite. And then I use some on the non-shiny side, like the B side. Oh, you know, do I pop them up or do I just glue them down? These little bits are going to be a problem, so we have to make sure that we don't have a leaf that's going over that. Yeah, I think that's too much space for these two. So we'll have them like that. I don't want that part coming off of the side of the card because I need it to fit in an envelope. So this, we could probably get away with scoring that part. Because it can be weird if they're like all, one is upright, one is down. I don't want to sacrifice a color. I mean, if they're falling leaves, they're kind of all over the place, right? What do you think? Does that look good? I'm going to go for it. I am going to compromise and have one glued down and then the next one popped up. And please, I'm sure you know this, but if you have questions, please, please, please ask them, whether it be live or on the replay. I had a comment on a YouTube video, I want to say it was like Friday. How do I want this one? And the woman, although it was not an easy comment to read because no one likes to be criticized, she mentioned that everything was going too fast and you would have to really be an advanced crafter to be able to replicate what I made. And I had to sit on it for a day or so. But I said to her, thank you so much for your feedback, because I mean, the fun of this is teaching people to do what I do. So if I'm going too fast, it doesn't help. So yeah, it wasn't a nice one to read, like I said, but how do I want this leaf? Like that. Stop overthinking. So this, I don't even need to score it. I can just bend it. Thank you, Judy. If any of you watching happen to be one of the winners of the card giveaway from the last Global Stampin' Video Hop, I need to get those in the mail. I am going to the post office tomorrow because I've got some stuff to mail, catalogs and prizes. So if you have been waiting for something from me, I suck at mail. I'm sorry. But I had to rush home last night for a team meeting, and I made spaghetti first, and of course the beef that I had purchased the day before was bad. Speaking of which, I need to get my money back for that. And then, see, I don't want it to be like this one. I need it to be organic and look like it just fell, but without me overthinking it. How about this one can be kind of like it's just floating down. So the beef was bad, so I had to go and defrost some meat. And then I came in and did my team meeting. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go eat now. And it was delicious. There was so much meat sauce left, and Dave threw away all the pasta. I'm like, oh, well, now I gotta make more. Not having just meat sauce without pasta, that'd be weird. The night before, we did like a Thanksgiving dinner, but with chicken, because I'm not going to make a turkey for like 4 people. So I threw out all the potatoes and the stuffing, and my daughter gets home from work and she's like, where is everything? I'm like, so there's chicken and cranberry sauce in the fridge, but everything else is gone. She comes home tonight, and of course he bought pizza and salad and breadsticks and 1 piece of pizza left. There's a little bit of salad, and she's like, oh, why is there never anything left for me? I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm starting to run out of room. This one is going to have to be tucked under. Or maybe not. Let's pop part of this one up. Well, I kind of wondered that, Linda. I was going to suggest it, but I do know that, I mean, I think you know this about me. I do not watch videos at regular speed. When I save something to my YouTube playlist, my watch later list, I watch them at 1.5. And if you've ever watched Jennifer Maguire, love her to death, but if you listen to her in regular speed, I can't do it. It's way too slow. So I'm kind of thinking, I'm going to cut part of this guy off. So I was tempted to say that, but I think, one, some people probably don't know about that, but also may need it slower, and then they slow it down. Like for me, I think I probably take for granted the fact that most that watch me are pretty avid crafters, right? Like I don't get a lot of beginners. I actually had to work on a project not too long ago that was for casual crafters. I'm like, but I'm not casual, I'm avid. I can't do it. So I had to stretch. Okay, now I need my bone folder. And I know I have a ruler, but I think it is out with my prep. So let's Wing It. My husband likes spago sauce. Oh. She takes forever. Seriously, I go and watch Jennifer Maguire in real time. Actually, watch her in real time and then speed her up to 1.5 and then go back to normal and then 1.5. Oh, I mean, I watch every single one of her videos, but watching in real time, it's like, oh, how can you talk that slow? But, I mean, she's an amazing teacher, right? Okay, so I don't want to glue that, but I did want it to be able to bend a little bit. My Dots and Spots makeshift ruler. So as busy as I am and as many projects as I have on the go, we're almost in an hour here, but at least it's like a decent project. Last week, I think, took way too long for what I was doing. So many projects on the go. Oh, I need to score the evergreen one too. And I still want to do more. Like I have a coworker that's retiring in just over a month. Ooh, my evening evergreen is too low. I might have to cut that part off, or I could put it a little higher up. But I do like my Z folds to be right at the bottom. We could do it at the top, but ooh, falling leaf. I want to be able to make something for her, but I just don't have time. And I'm like, why? Why do I keep signing myself up for more? Dimensionals may not have been the best idea on these two because it really pops them up. So let's peel them off. If you ever change your mind about dimensionals, all you have to do is roll them off. I don't think I've ever had my cardstock rip by doing that. Spago spaghetti. Pam, yes. I actually, is Jan B still making videos? I watched one of hers on the weekend, but it was like from a year ago. Okay, so I said I've never had it rip taking it off, but that was off the die cut, not the card base. Had to go and prove me wrong. Stinker. Really. It's just because I said it out loud. Stinker, stinker, stinker. Okay, we're just going to do a little bit of surgery here. Glue that back down and no one will ever know. Okay, so we are not popping these up. I want to get that one pretty much right where it was because I've already got it scored where it needs to be. Glue that little thing down. I put a dot of glue there. We'll see if that really makes a difference. I doubt it. Now this is still going to have a bit of depth because, I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of cardstock that will be stacked. Funny story for, oh, isn't that exactly what I didn't want to do? So funny story for you. I think I probably had it like that, didn't I? So Dave's dad is sleeping in our room, king size bed. When mother-in-law gets here, she'll be sleeping in there with him, but right now it's just him. The dogs aren't in there because they're not really dog people, and the dogs sleep with us. So the dogs are displaced, and Dave and I were supposed to be sleeping on a mattress in the basement, but I'm like, ew, there's bugs down there, I can't do it. So I slept on the couch the first night. Well, Dave and his dad are exactly the same in that they get up at the butt crack of dawn. So it was 3:30 in the morning. I had finally gotten to sleep around midnight after prepping Festivity Delivered until 11. Watched a little bit of Dahmer on Netflix and loved it. I don't watch like true crime or anything, but my daughter suggested it and wow, it was so interesting. Yes, Pam, I am with you there. So it took me forever to fall asleep, and then they wake me up at 3:30 and I don't do well with lack of sleep. I don't know many people that do, but I really don't do well. So go into work and I'm cranky. I don't share it, but vented a little bit and I was fine. Now I only want to put adhesive on about 2 3/4 inches here, but I'm just gonna guess. So man, I ended up staying up till like 10:30 or so last night, even though I was exhausted. But after this horrible night's sleep, I go and order a single air mattress. It's like a raised one, so it's not like this tiny little thin thing. It's kind of like it has a box spring. So Dave inflates it for me and we set it up in my craft room. I set it up in my craft room, and there wasn't one part of this thing that wasn't touching something. Like it was right here, and I had a fan going, and my TV is right up here, but I didn't turn it on because I wanted to go to sleep. And I've got my table here and a cart there and my calyx right here, and there was no part of this thing that wasn't touching something. So anytime I moved, it would squeak because it's rubbing on something. And the dogs are in here with me, and they're not sure what to make of this big squeaky bouncy thing. So it was interesting. But oh, much better sleep last night. But in order to be able to close the door so I didn't have light pouring in here, I had to lift it up, close the door, and let it back down. And also Dave inflated it to the point where it felt like it was going to pop. So of course I hadn't filled it, so I didn't know where the thingy was. So I had to feel all around, couldn't feel it. The dogs are like, "What is all that squeaking?" So stand up, turn the light on, find the thing, let out a bunch of air. And you would think that with an air mattress, you kind of want it to go like cave in the middle a little bit. But no, it's like it was convex. Like I felt like if I rolled over, I was just going to fall off. So it was interesting. Okay. Ooh, this is thick. Very thick. I'm not sure that we need these little guys in here. Like, there's enough going on with this leaf fall embossing folder. I might make a second one that has a couple of these, but I kind of feel like if I put these in here, they might actually detract from what's going on. What do you think? Yeah. And I usually would put Very Vanilla with crumb cake, but I'm thinking I might actually just cut another piece of crumb cake to go in here. And I have no idea what I'm going to use this for. I don't want to put a sentiment in here quite yet, because a card like this is going to someone special. It's not just going like thinking of you or thank you. Like, this is going to someone special for something special. So I'll leave the sentiment for now. Judy says, lol. But I'm not sure. What do you think? Does this take away from it, or does it add to it? I don't like two of those leaves there together. I kind of feel like these leaves are a little too cartoony for the holly leaves. I might do another one with the leaf fall embossing folder and use these, make a shaker card. What if, because like I said, I have nothing to do. What if I make a leaf fall embossing shaker card with shaker bits, using those with one of these? Or is there maybe another? I like it with, yeah, me too. Susan, Kathy, I agree. Like, I feel like this is too cartoony for me, but I really think it would look cute as a shaker card with a bunch of leaves in there. I'm cutting these off because it's never going to be open where you can see the entire thing. Like, we're not going to be able to lay it. Well, I guess we could, but yeah, I'm cutting those off because they look weird. This one can probably stay, but let's cut this alfalfa stem here. That is a challenge of doing a Z fold. I mean, to get my train to be the way I wanted, I basically just drew a line with my coordinating Stampin' Blend, which I want to say was SU100 or SU300. And then I just drew a line on the outside. But I mean, you can't have it go over that score line or it will never close properly. Okay, and then we're just going to add our adhesive here. So you can use liquid glue, you can use tear and tape, you could use Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm not a fan of the Plus. I only use it on certain projects. Now, I am going to suggest that we close this while it's still wet to make sure that it's not buckling, but look at that. It is very thick. Okay, I'm sorry, leaf, but you're coming off. I should have done it where it was like ripped so it looked like a natural leaf, but no can do, Babaloo. Okay. What do we think? Do we let? There's a lot of shadow. I'm so sorry. Thank you. I'm not sure that this is entirely what I had in mind, but I like how it turned out. I might have to use my craft knife on this bit. It is certainly a lot easier to do before you glue it all down. Now, if you don't want your leaves to look so perfect, you can distress them a little bit. And I would kind of tack these down a little bit so they're not popping up like that. But that is it. Like I said, I'm not going to add a sentiment yet because I'm not sure what this is going to be used for. But when I do, it will be on this little panel here. And I don't feel like it needs gems because we've got the gold embossing in the background. And whatever the sentiment is going to be will likely be gold embossed as well. The only thing I think it could use is a linen thread bow or crumb cake. Thank you, ladies. This has been a long one. I am going to use my bow jig. And I want to do a multiple loop bow, but usually when I do like a multi bow, I use my one string and I keep wrapping it around, but I do like to have multiple tails. So we're going to cut this in half. I don't want to have like a 5 loop bow and only one tail. Whoops. Overshot. Oh, that should be, I need to take one off. I didn't take one off, did I? I want this to be able to stay done, so I don't have a really long tail on this one side. So once you get it where you want, just give it a good tug. And now look how many loops we have. It is a little stiffer than I would have liked. I probably could have worked the thread a little bit. But we don't learn unless we play. And I'm not going to say it's a mistake. I'm playing. It should be fun. What do you think? Where does it go? I am going to put it on the pumpkin pie one. There we go. It did not feel complete without that bow. Okay, so when I have a few minutes, I will put this shaker card together, but I really need to get Festivity Delivered prepped. I have 2 last bits to do for this card, and then those of you that signed up for Festivity Delivered kits will be getting them soon. So there's only one more month of Festivity Delivered left, and that is using the Jingle 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 stamp set, which is just so cute. And the sign up, the deadline for that will be the 5th of, what month are we in? The 5th of November. We actually just passed the Sweet Gingerbread one on the 5th. I'm actually not doing so bad. And the classes are always on Facebook on the last Sunday of the month, and they're available for replay. But if you have any questions about that or anything else, just send me a message, comment, and I will try to answer you back not try to, but sometimes I miss questions. I did not make that bow jig, but one of my team members' husbands did. And when we had our last de-stash sale to use up to sell our BOGO items, she did send a whole bunch of these because the shipping, unfortunately, is as much as the bow jig itself. So they were $12. She can sell them within Canada. She probably could sell them in the US, but the shipping is going to be a fortune. So if you are in Canada and you're interested, she's in the Edmonton area. But when we have another de-stash sale, if he's still making them, she will likely send some here. And I wanted to show you. Oh, I can't. I've got something on there I can't show. Trust me when I say there is like maybe 4 inches of free space on that table. And then you can see all my projects lined up there. So much to do. So I'm going to go and finish prepping my FD. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me. It was 1 hour and 10 minutes. Thank goodness I cut all my leaves already, right? So we will see you soon, my crafty friends. Bye.